my god, thank you!
Sentindo adorável.
It's the best day ever.
It is the best day ever. So is yesterday, and so is tomorrow, and every day from now until forever. Do you guys ever think about dying?
Margot, since Barbie is such a well-known character, which part of her stereotype did you embrace and which part of her stereotype did you left out?
The word stereotype is actually what we embrace. We referred to her and she refers to herself as stereotypical Barbie. And I think the word stereotypical has negative connotations attached to it, and I thought it was clever and important to keep it that way. They could have called her original Barbie, you know, she's the one depicted in 1959 with the creation. But it was important that she saw herself as a certain thing and something that wasn't necessarily even that great.
This is the real world. What's going on? Why are these men looking at me?
Yeah, they're also staring at me.
Barbie's a fascinating icon of recent memory. I mean, she was invented in 1959 and in some ways was so much ahead of her time and in other ways behind some things. So the kind of continuing evolution of Barbie, which is what was so fascinating to me, that she could be both this incredible woman who does, you know, she goes to space before women were allowed to have credit cards, and also, you know, she presents a completely unrealistic body type for women, and so how both of these things are happening at the same time, and that was something for me that I felt like that could be really at the heart of the movie.
Ryan, in contrast to your other movies, you had to bring a more expansive personality. So what made you say yes to Ken?
Oi, todos prontos pro tour dos sonhos do Ken?
It was just the opportunity to work with Greta and Margot, and it was such a brilliant script, and it just was so obvious that it was amazing and an amazing opportunity to get to work.
You wanted to shave your legs.
And I was like looking for an opportunity to do that.
You're like, someone like, give me the excuse.
Yeah.
I want to know
They were
that
like, you don't
silky
have to,
smooth
we could just
feeling.
CGI it out.
And you're
I was
like,
like,
no, I'm committed.
Yeah.
If I wasn't severely injured, I would beat you off right now, Ken.
How do you imagine the girl that is playing with your Barbie? What do you think your Barbie has to teach to the girls and to your girl that is playing?
I mean, I definitely pictured myself just via conversations with Greta. I thought about, you know, the young, ambitious girl in me who, you know, pictured what a president would look like, but really tapped into the childlike version of it. So down to her costume being a ball gown, and, you know, down to her being really optimistic and just a pleasant leader, just what I would want, who I would want to be led by and who I would want my president to be. So I have little girls look at her and see a president who enjoys her job and doesn't think about all the terrible things that are actually happening in the world simultaneously.
Okay, ladies, let's do this.
Kate, out everything you have ever done, how was it to play a Barbie so unique like yours? Because you have the best house there. Do you think she suits you?
I think yes. I mean, I look, I'm weird, okay? Born weird, been weird the whole time, and so I couldn't really have qualified to play any of the other Barbies, and I'm fine with that. I'm happy about that.
You can go back to your regular life, or you can know the truth about the universe. The choice is now yours.
The first one, the high heel.
You have to want to know, okay? Do it again.
Michael, in a world with so many Barbies and Kens, how was it to be the only Alan? Did you feel special on the set?
Yeah, it's kind of an honor. I kind of liked being, you know, as my little piece of ground. I could protect Alan, be on the side, see what's going on, and not really be heavily associated with the Kens in all of their misguided efforts.
Hi, Barbies! Hi, Barbie! Hi, Barbies!
Hi, Barbie.
Oh, hi, Alan.
And Barbie has such a more pop vibe than Little Woman and Lady Bird. What made you throw into this universe like, oh, okay, I say yes to Barbie?
Well, in some ways, to me, on the surface it feels different, but the way it feels on the inside in terms of, you know, I wrote the script with Noah Baumbach, and the way I approach directing it is it feels just as personal to me as, you know, Little Women or Lady Bird, or even going back for like Frances Ha. This also feels like just a movie that feels in my marrow, like I had to make it. So, you know, I can't believe they let me make it, but I'm not questioning it.
America, your character isn't a Barbie because she's not from Barbie land, but you said that everyone is a Barbie. So for you, what is being a Barbie?
Yeah. You know, I think for me, after the experience of this movie and watching the movie, this is such an evolution of Barbie. I didn't grow up playing with Barbies. I didn't have a relationship to Barbie. But to me, the invitation of this movie is to kind of reclaim the joy and the playfulness and the empowerment of like celebrating yourself, loving all the women in your life who are fabulous, and men, the Kens too. Let's add the Kens in there, and giving us all permission to just be more of what we are, like unapologetically. And so I think being a Barbie means being unapologetically your fabulous self.
I spent my childhood playing with Barbie and I loved reliving some memories with the movie. Did you bring some memories of your childhood to the movie?
Yes, definitely. I always thought about, I mean, my mom didn't love Barbies, so I played with a lot of hand-me-down Barbies from the girls in my neighborhood. But I remember, because my mom wasn't so excited about Barbie, it just made Barbie more intriguing to me. I remember going to the toy store and looking at Barbie in the boxes and just being like, wow. It really represented some kind of fantasy for me.
That feeling.
Yeah, and so I really wanted to remember that while I was making the movie and always try to keep that little girl in mind.
I was not like into I was more into like blocks, you know, wooden blocks, plastic blocks. And so it was so fascinating to then become invited into this universe and to find my place within it and think like, oh yeah, I am a freaking Barbie. And I love it. I love it here.
Loved Barbies, and so they weren't cool. And then just even in my high school years, Barbie was associated with kind of being dumb, like a bimbo, and so I disassociated myself from her. And then in adulthood, she came back, you know, in pop cultural ways. So like Nicki Minaj claimed her, and I was like, oh yeah, Barbies are bad. Barbies are bad bitches. I like that. And with this movie, through Greta's lens, it just allows for a new relationship with Barbie, and one where you kind of understand the issues that women have had with Barbies over the years and how they're really just more internal and projection.
Basically everything that men do in your world, women do in ours.
The president's here.
I am, you're welcome.
Barbie is a doctor and a lawyer, and so much more than that.
She did a great monologue and the movie was really beautiful, and I want to know, what reflection do you hope the audience will have from this speech?
Yeah, you know, I hope that what rings true for people in it like stays with them, like it has with me. You know, I every now and then when like certain feelings of doubt or insecurity come up, like I remember the speech and I remember like the truth of it, and like, oh yeah, like why are we choosing to be beholden to these ideas? Like I can let it go, you know? And so, you know, that's been true for me. So if that's how it sticks with other people, that would be wonderful.
So, Margot, when you first thought about making the Barbie movie, what you didn't want in the movie?
I didn't have any notions of what couldn't be in the movie. Obviously it was going to be up to our writer-director, the person who's going to, their vision. My job as a producer is to support their vision. So there wasn't anything that I didn't want, and I didn't know what we were going to get, because there isn't a set formula for a Barbie movie. It's never been made before. There isn't a narrative that exists in the world. It was totally uncharted territory. So I didn't know what we were going to get, but I had an idea of the kind of things that Greta would be able to accomplish, and I knew that she would be able to both celebrate the legacy of the brand and also point out the problematic parts of the brand.
Allowing people to feel good and worthy and not like because I think, you know, whether it's comparing yourself to Barbie or comparing yourself to whatever, is that people are always setting up these expectations, not just women, but women in a particular way, that are impossible to meet and that they are always going to fall short of. And I think this movie wants to say, forget all of that. The thing that makes you beautiful is your soul and your imperfections and the things that don't look perfect. That's literally what makes you human.
Humans only have one ending.
Get that Barbie!
Ideas live forever.
And I need to know, do you ship Ken and Barbie together in the movie?
Do we what?
Ship, do you want them together?
Do we ship them?
Yes, we say it in Brazil, we ship, we want them together. Do you want them?
Oh, I've never heard that.
Yeah, it's a term from the internet.
Love that. I think, honestly, by the end of it, you're kind of like,
Yeah,
that's not what, you know, it's, the joke is, even at the end, Will Ferrell's character, the Mattel CEO, is like, that's easy, she gets with the guy at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, that's not necessarily the ending.
Yes, yes.
It's playing up the joke of like that trope in the end of the movie. It's like, and all is well, they got together and it was happy ever after, but I think the point the movie is making is that life isn't this fantasy. It's more complicated and complex and nuanced and interesting, and maybe there's a Barbie too. I don't know.
And Ken's got a lot of work to do on himself before
And
he
a
can be
bitch.
good for anyone. He's not good for anybody right now. He needs to focus on himself.
What are you doing here?
I'm coming with you.
Did you bring your rollerblades?
I literally go nowhere without them.
A meme from Brazil that says that Ken has anything. And I want to know, after this movie, should Ken have a house or a car? What do you think? Will he?
A casa dos sonhos do Ken. Carro na garagem e quarto inteiro. Só pra experimentar roupa.
What do you, I mean, it's up to
You too, you go.
the creator here. What do you think? Do you think he should have a house?
He should.
Even a tent?
Maybe a tent. Maybe
Start
like
with a tent.
a condo
Yeah.
at the most.
Even just a prefab. that you
Definitely
can
not a
just
dream house.
Drop off.
That's crazy.
No.
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 Not a
Not
Barbie
Ken.
convertible.
Ken's dream house?
No.
Oh,
He can get the
that's
bus
crazy.
as well. I don't think he needs a car.
Ah,
You
okay.
know, like,
Even
Maybe
a
a
van.
job, but the
But
bus.
a van
if
down
he
by
shares
the...
it, he could sleep in it too. That works.
Totally.
Can I come to your house tonight?
Sure. Yes, he should. He should have a home and a job and money. He needs all those things. We've been denying Ken too long.
And now it's, I think, maybe like in the next movie, like a spin-off.
Yes, he needs to have a lot of accessories.
I pray that he does. I think the production probably gave him one. If not, he should sue because, I mean, he deserves a house at the very least. I don't know about a car. We'll
Yeah.
see.
I don't care.
In the real world, that's impossible.
If this got out, this could mean extremely weird things for our world. This would be catastrophic!
We haven't played with Barbie since we were like 5 years old. Oh.
No one rests until this doll is back in a box.
I'll see you on the Malibu beach!